So just looking at a news article here regarding Deontay Wilder and the new setup that he's got over there with his trainer Malik Scott. Essentially saying that it looks like Malik Scott has taken over as head trainer and relieved JD's, who will still very much be in the Wilder camp, but looks like he's taking a back step. Now, we've obviously had an incredible amount of radio silence from Wilder since the Fury defeat, and it's only within, I'd say, the sort of the last 3 or 4 weeks that we've seen Wilder make these sort of announcements. We've seen obviously a lot of that training footage of him and Malik Scott. We've seen him do a few interviews, and I still have concerns that Deontay Wilder still hasn't accepted that he was beaten by the better man on the night against Tyson Fury. And until he can accept that, I personally, just my opinion, don't believe that Wilder can move forward and progress and get better as a fighter. Now, it's great that Wilder's back. He's a great addition at heavyweight. He's always in exciting fights. That much is crystal clear. But the problem we have with Team Wilder, and Malik Scott included, is that these are all yes men. These are not guys that are going to tell Deontay Wilder, look, you simply weren't good enough against Fury. We need to go back to basics and we need to improve on this. And that was made abundantly clear when Wilder showed Mark Breland the door. And obviously Mark Breland, being a very much old school fighter, he wasn't going to sit there and just say, yeah, you're fine, you're good. He was going to tell Wilder what he needs to improve on. Now, obviously, there's still these crazy Deontay Wilder fanboys out there that believe that there was an issue with the water and the gloves. Guys, do me a favour. If anyone is watching this and is still of that belief, please don't leave a comment, because I don't want anyone like that anywhere near me or near this YouTube channel. Okay? Now, I'm quite fortunate that about 95% of the people that view and comment on my videos are extremely intelligent people, and we seem to have some great conversations and debates on the videos that I have done so far. So I'm very lucky in that respect. But if you are of that odd 5%, please just stop watching, because I can't even debate with people like that. These are not boxing people. They are just part of some crazy Deontay Wilder cult. And it is quite scary, actually. But for the other 95% of you, then essentially this is where we're at. So the article is talking about, obviously, Malik Scott looking to bring some improvements into the camp, and Wilder's saying that they always had a close relationship and that he's got a great boxing brain, but he just never had the body to execute those tactics. Now, for those of you who don't know, I'm sure the majority of you do, Malik Scott was a former heavyweight. He actually fought Wilder back in 2014 for a WBC eliminator. So the guys have got history. Wilder actually knocked him out. So it's almost like Malik Scott is going full circle here, which is quite strange. But we've seen stranger partnerships before, haven't we? With the likes of David Haye managing Derek Chisora. Very odd, that partnership. One of the most unusual partnerships I think I've ever seen in boxing. And I'm sure there's stranger out there as well, and there's probably more yet to come. But back to the matter at hand, I've got concerns that Deontay Wilder still can't bring himself to admit what really happened in that Fury rematch 16 months ago. And until he can do that, until he can get over those mental scars and demons, I don't know how he progresses. Now, for me personally, I didn't see enough in that second fight to warrant a third fight. And I get it, it was agreed in the contract. Now, what I will say, as far as advantages that Wilder has over Fury, is that Wilder has always been a natural athlete. He doesn't balloon in weight between fights. He's very consistent in weight. If you look at his all the weights that he's come in previous fights, he actually came in at a career heaviest against Fury last year at 231. This is pounds, 231 pounds. If we just scroll down, you can see that he's been fairly consistent, sort of, anywhere between 220 to 230. Doesn't jump up and down hugely in weight. Obviously, Tyson Fury's been out recently in Vegas with Tommy, and he's been looking absolutely terrible as far as his weight's concerned. But obviously, he should be sort of back in the gym now as we speak, because we're set to hear that, it's going to be an announcement soon of a 24th of July announcement. We're hearing very, very soon. Now, that's not set in stone, but obviously those guys should be well into their camp. And another advantage that Wilder's probably got over Fury is that he probably knew all along that his comeback fight was going to be against Fury. And Fury's camp probably never anticipated that, at least after December, when they thought obviously this arbitration no longer was going to come back to bite them, and it obviously did. And I remember obviously back in December 2020 when Frank Warren was trying to put on that BT show between Fury and Caballero, and he pulled the plug on that. And I always said back then that there was legal issues and that's why it's been cancelled. And I remember a lot of people saying on the forums that I was talking on that, no, it's just because of money. Frank Warren couldn't get the money together to pay Caballero. Guys, look, this is how I look at it. Frank Warren doesn't bow down to no one. I've never known Frank Warren to pull a show. Okay, Al Heyman and Shelley Finkel, these are serious people, guys. They are not going to walk away from the heavyweight championship of the world. And I was always of the mindset that those guys probably wanted the third fight more than Wilder. And I think it's probably taken Wilder a bit of time to realise, oh no, actually I want it. And again, that's probably a large amount of that has been a part of the people around him that have made him want it more than he wants it. I believe he wants it now, but at the time, and for a long part of last year, I don't think he wanted any part of Fury on a third fight. But like I said, he's got a lot of yes men in his camp, and they're not going to tell him the harsh reality that you weren't good enough on the night. And I've seen a few training clips here and there, and I think, yeah, no, he looks good. There's some improvements there. He's got a nice jab. I'm seeing some different movement. He's always obviously got that heavy right hand, which he's known for. But let's be honest, guys, everyone looks good on the pads. The pads don't fire back at you, do they? But we'll see what happens. What do you guys think? Obviously, really appreciate all the comments you guys have been leaving. Obviously, I do like engaging with you guys as much as I can. You guys obviously know your boxing, which is great. The right people are watching the channel, which is most important to me. So obviously keep leaving comments, keep liking the video if you enjoyed what I've had to say. And if you're new to the channel, then hey, subscribe.